Unions representing workers in the sugar belt on Wednesday told Nightly News that they are finding it hard to believe that the sugar company Gaisuco is so heavily indebted. GAU President Komal Chand went as far as to say that he believes the government is trumping up the figures to paint a bad picture of the sugar industry. Nightly News raised the concerns of the unions with government's spokesman, Minister Joseph Harmon, on Thursday. Minister Harmon, last week you would have said, I think Gaisuco is indebted to the sum of $88 billion. The two sugar unions, namely GAU and NASI, are still trying to understand how the corporation is so indebted after in 2014 Gaisuco presented to the Parliamentary Economic Services Committee that it was indebted to the sum of $58 billion. How come the corporation is so indebted when there were so much inflows from the government to the corporation over that period of time?
The questions that are asked by the sugar unions, I'm sure that the Ministry of Agriculture, I'm sure that Gaisuco is in a position to present that information to them, just as they presented it to Cabinet. These are matters which have been thoroughly investigated by the Commission of Inquiry into Sugar, by special teams that have been created by Gaisuco and the Ministry of Agriculture to look at specific issues in relation to the Gaisuco plan, which I elaborated on last week. So the sugar unions are part of the stakeholders in this matter. And we welcome any input from the unions in dealing with these issues. And so if the union has actually made a statement, they require information, then clearly this information, once it is not privileged, once it is not information.
The unions agreed too that the government should maintain the status quo of the industry. That is to say, keep pumping money into the industry until, if at all, it bounces back.
Last week I gave to you what were the proposals that came to Cabinet. And the proposal said that if we were to keep the status quo, that these are the sums that you will require. So that sum will be required for 2017, and then I gave you the 2018 figures and going ahead.
The minister pointed out that there must be better relations between the sugar unions and the government. He noted that the unions are important stakeholders and must be a part of the decision-making process, but they cannot do so if they continue to isolate themselves.
It is better for them to call us and talk to us rather than us having to read about it in the media. We have said here last week when I related what the 5-point strategy was, that part of it includes the consultation with stakeholders. We consider the unions to be a very, very important stakeholder in this industry, and we will never leave them out of the consideration about the future of sugar in this country.
The government is adamant that tough decisions would have to be made about the future of the sugar industry before this year end. Royden James, HGP Nightly News.